Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on Morning Markets from the team at True Potential. Today we'll look back at markets from last week and discuss some of the things there, and then focus on what we're looking for over the coming 5 days. So just looking back at last week, markets at an equity level, I suppose, towards the end of the week started to reflect a little bit more just of rising COVID-19 infection rates and what that may or may not mean for economic recovery and the potential for further lockdowns in certain areas. And in particular in Europe, where we did have discussions on Friday about some additional measures that could be taken in Germany, and indeed that was confirmed over the weekend, where there will be a more restrictive lockdown in Germany through to the 10th of January. Just looking at what happened in European equity markets over the course of last week, the Euro Stoxx 600 was pretty much unchanged over the course of the week, a bit weaker on Thursday and Friday, with Friday down about 70 basis points. In the US, probably again marginally lower over the course of the week. We saw the S&P down about 1%, the Nasdaq some 70 basis points. The contrast, and still the market that continues to outperform, is that of the Russell 2000, that market that's much more focused on the small and mid-cap stocks within the US, and those that one would argue that are more sensitive to economic recovery. In the sovereign bond market, we did see yields come in across regions over the course of the week, and indeed the curve does look to have got flatter as well over the course of the week. The biggest move in sovereign bonds is probably around in the UK 10-year gilt coming in some 16 to 18 basis points over the course of the week, ending the week yielding 0.18%. So quite a move in the UK, and a lot of that tied into the discussions, or the ongoing discussions, I should say, around Brexit, the impact that will have, and what we may or may not then see from the MPC. Just looking then and turning to the week ahead, quite an important week for markets. Clearly we've got the extended Brexit discussions ongoing, but I think the other key thing for asset markets over the course of the week will be what we hear from central banks. We do have the Federal Reserve meeting in the US, we've got the Bank of England Monetary Policy Committee here in the UK, and we also have the Bank of Japan. Now, taking the first two in turn, or all three effectively, no change in policy is really expected. I think it's very much more about what is discussed in this case of the Fed. It's how they're thinking about the current economic situation, but also if they give any indication of how they're thinking about the bond purchase program going forward, particularly as it relates to, at this point, the lack of further fiscal support coming from the US. Then if we look at the Bank of England and the MPC, again, their decision is probably pretty much shaped by the outcome of the ongoing discussions around Brexit. If we get some agreement, they'll comment on that. If we don't get something, we may see them move to provide additional support. Or even if discussions are still ongoing, they might just say, well, we're ready to take whatever action is necessary. So that's something that over the next couple of days that we'll be watching, and we'll report back on as to where we get there. As usual, at the beginning, at this time of a month, we get the flash PMI data points, and we'll see how those come out for both services and manufacturing. And if we cast our minds back to last month, clearly there was, and as there has been over the past number of months, a divergence between what we've seen in services and what we're seeing in manufacturing. As we have seen further restrictive measures introduced, it may be that the services component continues to deteriorate and manufacturing continues to hold strong. But we'll report back on that as we get those flash numbers over the course of the week. Also, clearly we'll discuss what's happening in currency markets. Brexit discussions will be ongoing. We saw with the extension to the current discussions, sterling has moved about 1.4% stronger against the dollar today. So an expectation or a hope that we do get to some form of conclusion there. Just then, thinking about other data points over the course of the week, we get a lot of data from China, including fixed asset investment, what's been happening in terms of industrial production and retail sales, and we'll report on that as well. That's it for today. Please do subscribe on YouTube, and we look forward to speaking to you over the course of the week. Thank you.
Subscribing to True Potential YouTube channel is quick and easy. Simply go to your YouTube app on your phone, type in True Potential and press the red subscribe option. You'll then be notified as and when new videos are released.